Hey, good day, guys. This is Jonathan Ribble, and I just want to say welcome to this. Uh, Welcome to the show. We're going to talk to you today about, and I'm sorry I've been away so long. Nearly was killed last year. So COVID-19 and pneumonia, and oh man, it wiped me out. But I'm back in the saddle again. It's great to be with you, but we're gonna talk to you today about uh, writing your book in a couple weeks or less. I really think that everybody has a story, and you need to find your story because we have. That's what keeps you going. You got to have those goals that are so. I think the one thing that kept me going was my goals. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I just was not alive. Just I was breathing, but I was not alive. And I think a lot of times we live our whole life that way, don't we? We find ourselves existing but not living. So you're either taking up way too much space or you're living on the edge. That's what Bob Proctor used to say. So let's live on the edge. Let's get that story out there. Well, how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, first of all, there's several programs out there, and I want to encourage you to check them out. One is called Descript. Descript. See, I'm recording this video that I'm doing right now. What I can do is take this video and then have Descript uploaded into Descript, and then Descript will transcribe the video. Not only will it transcribe the video, but it will also edit. I can edit the text and it will edit the video. So if I get into these, uh, and, those filler word things, I can get rid of them. So it's nice on the video. So that's one tool that you can use. But here's what I tell people: write up a framework. A lot of people get stuck writing a book. Anybody can write a book. If I can do it, you can do it. You can head over to should've-turned-right.com. That's should've-turned-right.com, and you can see my book. In fact, I'll put it in the comments here. The But one of the things I want you to just understand is that your story can help somebody else, whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about. What are you passionate about? What do you like to do? Do you like to garden? How could you correlate gardening with life? I find that a lot of us are, just we're just mulling through. And that's what I found last year. The winter of Iowa this year was just brutal, and so I want to encourage you to stay the course. Stay the course. So come up with a framework. What do I mean by framework? Chapters in your book. But that's basically what is it going to be about. Let's stop with. Remember when you were in school and you had to write that book report, or you had to write that theme? You had to write an introduction, a body, and a close. Well, think about that as you go along through writing a book. And what is your book going to be about? What is it about? Now, I'm more into personal development, motivation, things like that, self help, business development, things like that. I'm not into memoirs and the my biography and all that. I don't. Those are things I don't really teach on, but it can be done in the same way. So think about whatever your book is going to be about. What is the theme? Try to keep some consistent titles with that. So I just sit there and think, okay, what do I want to write about? What's the introduction? And the body is all them chapters. How can I break those chapters up so there is significant, and I can keep going through. So write up a framework, number one. Number two, write up your chapter titles, and you can always change them later. And then think about it. If you got 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes in the evening, you can write your book. How do you figure? Well, a lot of times people say, well, I don't have the time to sit down for an hour and a half and sit there at the computer and type for an hour and a half. I'd go crazy if I did. So, what you can do is you can take that, start where you're at, and start small. Don't try to climb Mount Everest if you haven't went on bought a backpack. So start with the basics and then move on from there. Don't try to take everything out at once. So I'm going to encourage you to do this. Write up a framework. This is number one. What am I going to write about? Introduction, body, close. How am I going to wrap it up? So here's some of the topics I'm going to talk about. And if you don't know titles yet, just think about topics. Um, Maybe you want to write about motivation, how to stay motivated. So maybe you're going to talk about goals, having that goal that's so exhilarating that it excites you and it scares you at the same time. One that's so in tune with your mental and spiritual core that you'll willingly dedicate all of your waking hours to its attainment. So you can say at the end of your life, I am emphatically and incredibly grateful for this idea that used and moved my life. What a different story we'll have to tell if we have such a goal that keeps the blood flowing in our life. Think about it. Oh, what a different story. So if you want to write about motivation, so what is the topic? So you might talk about goals. You might talk about passion and purpose. I was part of a group, and they had the four P's: the purpose, the promise, the premise, the plan. The so if you get stuck, for instance, in what you want to write about, think about what resonates with you and then emulate what resonates. So if you pick up a book, i.e. pick up a book, and you start reading. At the moment he decided to rededicate his life to his kids and continue striving to give his best effort, John was not a quitter. He drove home determined to give his best effort for the rest of his life. Okay, at the moment he realized something. So you could take that and run with it and start talking about it. Or if you see something in the books, like Think and Grow Rich, and it says thoughts are things and powerful things at that, when they're mixed with a definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their attainment. So I could write something on the power of thought. So all these things, just think about, and whatever you think about and speak about, you will bring about. And so you start, okay, I've got 7 topics. All right, now start talking about those topics. And you can do a Facebook Live. Why would I want to do a Facebook Live? Because a Facebook Live, you can record and you can have Facebook be your hard drive. If you don't have a big hard drive, do Facebook Lives. And then you can save each video in Facebook Lives. You can categorize your videos on your Facebook. And who knows, you might inspire someone. You might lift someone up. You might make someone's day. You might encourage someone along the way. You might smile in their direction and lift them up out of the pit that they're in. You might be able to make a change in someone's life. Maybe you don't have 1,000 viewers. Maybe you don't have 2 million viewers. Who cares? Because after 100 years, will it matter anyway? But let's suppose 100 years from now, somebody's sitting at their computer and they're lost and they're destitute and they're down and out, and they, they just happen to come across something that you did 100 years ago, and it sparks something to keep going. That's what all we're doing through this life. We're just passing the baton. So if you can think about passing the baton to someone else, and if you can help someone else along the way, no matter what your circumstances you face. George Bernard Shaw said, I don't believe in circumstances. The person who gets on in this world is the person who can't find can if he finds a circumstance, if he can't find it, he creates it. So that's the person who gets on in this world. If you sit around and focus on your circumstances and why you can't do something, you're right. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Either way, you're right. So if you tell yourself, you know what, I can do this. I can give myself 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes in the evening. See, if I do that for 7 days straight, or if I take 6 days off, maybe I want to rest one and spend it with my God and my family and the rest of the time. So I take 6 days, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and 10 minutes in the evening. That's 30 minutes a day. That's 200. That's 180 minutes or 210 minutes of content. That is uh, going to be 18 to 21 modules or chapters that you can use. Eight, 18 to 21. Now you divide 7 into 21. You got 3. So you got 3 volumes. You got 3 books. You don't have to put it all in the book. It can be a short read. Sometimes shorter reads are better. I mean, look at the thickness of this book. This is a very thin book. I mean, this is the book I wrote. Should have turned right. Okay. Look at the thickness. Look at the thickness. It's not intimidating. I can get through that. I can get to the meat of the message. You don't have to have a 400-page book, because if I go here and I show you this book, though, compared to this book, now this is the Bible and this is my book. Which one's less intimidating? Of course, this one. So sometimes shorter is better. Little short books or booklets that you can sell for $10 each. This is on a website. Okay. Should have turned right. Let me bring that back over so you can see it. Should have turned right.com is on a website. So it you're good. My point with all this, guys, is let's see who's you. Hey, Will, and if you're still there, I want to just say thanks for watching. You have I think we have a duty to our God and our man to develop as much talent as an ability as we can in this lifetime. Otherwise, we're derelict to that duty. So think about your book in a fashion of that it's done already. So if I win those 10 minutes a day, I pick those topics and you can type them out if you want. What I do is I get in front of a Facebook Live like this and I begin to talk and I let the ideas flow. And then I go back and I say, oh, 5 people like that, 10 people like that, or somebody made a comment on that, or I struck a chord with that person, or I helped that person. I'll take and copy and paste those, by the way. See, Will Israel doesn't know, but he's going to be a testimonial for me because he just liked so I assume he liked what I was sharing. So I'm going to take his name and I'm going to say, oh, I loved what he was sharing. It's a testimonial. If somebody puts a comment on your page, they say, man, never heard something like that before. Thanks for speaking into my life. Take that, take their name and what they said, copy and paste it, and put it on your website. I don't have a website, John. Well, you can head over to scribblefunnels.com and get one, or you can use any of the tools out there. But what I do is I will take those videos that I record, and then I will choose the ones that I like the best. I'll download maybe 5 or 6 of them. I'll upload them into Descript. Descript will transcribe those videos. Now, I still have the video, and Descript transcribes them. So now I have the video that was just edited. So when I edit the text on the screen, Descript will edit my video. So it gets rid of all the filler words, gets rid of all the uhs and the thus and the these and the extra words that I put in there. And it just brings to the meat of it. And when I download it, then I use a program called livingwriter.com. It helps me break up into chapters because Microsoft Word is not too friendly with writing books. So I will, and Apple used to have a software called iBooks Author. They merged it with Pages, and I'm not really thrilled with what they did. It was kind of good, but I like Living Writer, and then I can put everything in chapters, introductions, and it kind of has the storyline laid out for me. And then when I download it, I can download it as an Amazon manuscript, and it's all ready for Amazon. And then what I do is I head over to canva.com and then I make up a book cover. And you don't have to be great at this, guys. You don't have to be great, but you do have to, You do have to start to become great, but you don't have to be great to start. A lot of people think I'm not where Tony Robbins is, and you're never going to be. And he's never going to be where you are. In fact, he couldn't hold a candle to you. I'm sorry. He couldn't handle your life. He couldn't handle it. Stop trying to be him. You're not him. Stop trying to be Les Brown. You're not Les Brown. Les Brown couldn't hold a candle to what you've had to deal with. But there again, you couldn't hold a candle to what he's had to deal with. We compare ourselves with so many people. Why am I not like them? Who cares what they're like? I got to stop and think. Tony Robbins is 63 years old. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been doing it for 50 years. He started when he was 17 years old, guys. You started last week. So stop trying to be like him. You're not going to climb Mount Everest in a week. You're not going to do it. You're not going to go to some webinar and all of a sudden be like the guy who's doing the webinar. You can aspire to be like them, and you can take what they share with you and you can start putting it into action. I'll tell you the truth. I just made an offer to somebody else. I heard her story this last week, and I was so impressed with the story that I offered to do something at no cost for her because she's an older lady. All I said to her is, and I didn't even say do video. I showed her on her phone. This is what you can do. You can record with your voice and you can write a book. And if you will record, you will give me 7 audio recordings. I will transcribe them for you. And then I will help you come up with a cover. And then I will help you come up with a cover and help you sell your book. She said, let me pray on that. I'm telling you, I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for anything. I just was so impressed with her story that I said, I'll do it for you. But guess what? She didn't want to do the work. And if there's work involved, people don't want to do it, guys. So you got to understand, if there's work involved, chances are people are going to stay where they are. And that's the biggest problem with people. They don't want to do the work. So I hope this video has helped somebody out there today. Make sure you write your story down. Get it on video. Get it on paper. Just do it. Do it. Because life's not guaranteed. Have a great day.